Did you get along, Harvey?
Sorry, I had one of my neighbors came by.
Did you steal something?
No, I'm too old for that, and they don't have anything cool. She's really old. She's going to take her whole family to the Dominican Republic for Christmas, for her 85th birthday. So she wants me to look at the house to make sure her house doesn't, I don't know, explode.
Nice. I doubled up.
Doubled your dickens? Where did you get the second dip? You get it at 37s? 38.50?
Yeah. Not the best.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Still kind of rotating. I'm probably going to get out, though.
Yeah,
I'm out.
And 4
what's
ticks
up?
is kind of
What's up,
fucking
guys?
tight.
It's
how's it going?
like in the middle of the chart. I don't like it. Like it's in all this volume. I feel like it needs to flush a little bit more.
Possibly.
It's too chop. Too much chop.
There goes your flash.
Did you smash it? Oh.
Isn't 38.33 is your level, is it not?
No. Yes. No. Let me check.
Yeah,
36.50.
No, 38.33. Is that not a level?
Hold on, let me check.
I actually don't have it marked, but I could have sworn it was a level because it's just like something that.
I think it was an old level.
Maybe it is an old level because I know it's just a number that I know, 38.33. But I don't have it marked on my chart, so I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, these levels work pretty good, man. That NQ just could not hold it, and look what happened.
Yeah, and I was watching Apple. Like Apple was like not getting picked up.
Same thing with the active level. It just could not hold that active level, and it just said, fuck that. Also coincides with Dalton's bottom side level. I'm not much with the options. I'm trying to learn. Would it be better for them to flush it out early in the week of the implied volatility, or do they want to stretch that out and wait till the end of the week to do that? Or is that just, am I making that up? Like, I don't know.
I feel like it's happened both times. Like I've seen it in the beginning of the week. Remember one time it was like on a Tuesday or something like that. We hit implied volatility. So I think it's just random. But this is where, if it's gonna flip, it should flip here. But I just don't like this trade.
And we're currently sitting at the November lows right now.
And it's in like the middle of the volume profile where it's like all the volume is. So it's basically balance area. So it's got to cut through all of this if it's going to move out of it. So I don't like taking trades in this area because it could just bounce around until it figures out what it wants to do.
It's true.
So I guess you did a pre-market session.
Oh yeah. I was also talking about the capital flow, and I think John or someone pinged you because they thought you might be interested in it. Or I mean, I was gonna wait to see if you were gonna jump on because I thought you might be interested in it.
Oh no, I'm definitely interested, but obviously don't wait for me.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I thought we'll just give her a few minutes if she does come on.
What did you guys talk about? Are you able to like briefly go over it?
Yeah, I can. One
you don't
second.
have to do it now. You could. if you're in the
Let
trade.
me just check some things really quick. Hmm. Wow, went right to the FU zone. Interesting.
Here. Like me a good FU zone. Where is that?
The FU zone is at 32.25.
32.25. Let me mark that. Hold on.
32.25.
Don't be
Yeah.
going so fast.
Yeah. So when I marked the 36.25 that I thought I was going to get to, it also marks my FU zone for me, which is at 32.25, which so happens to be that low.
Oh,
But it was
it's interesting. Are you still really?
bullish.
Yeah,
I am.
you're getting lesser bullish as it goes a bit.
It looks
Well,
bullish. It actually does. I just
here's
don't
the
want to
thing.
enter here.
This recent buying, there was a lot of buying that went into it, and it didn't go anywhere.
Just like today is what you're suggesting. Is that what you're, today's
So that
buying? It
selling
didn't
was
really make.
more efficient.
Yeah, for sure. Eh? Like it was. It's like it's making easy work of it. It works its ass off hard. Like you know what I mean, one way or the other. And today it was like it was really, really putting a lot of effort in to go along, and then when it just changed, it was really quite easy to take it
Yep.
back.
Yep.
I think it's just
So
going to
that's
chop for a bit before it decides. But it still does look bullish. So I agree.
well. Here's the thing, guys. London just went out, so that's one thing that we should be cognizant of.
Yeah.
That it potentially could have just been flushing out any kind of London longs, and then they'll take it up. So I would.
I don't think we. I don't know if you touched on it this morning. You didn't really. Asia session really flushed out because what was that? It was the BOJ. Is that what it is? They
Yeah.
had that news, right? And then when it came to Euro time, they were like, "Fuck you," and they just took it all back. How did they just manage to just go
China
long on
released
that?
their numbers around that pump.
Oh no, I get the drop. I was there at 10 o'clock.
No. The drop was Japan. The pump was China.
Oh, the
What
pump
was
was
the China
China.
numbers?
They showed that they're increasing spending. Basically, they're willing to backstop stuff.
They're
Which just kind of
buying
coincided with the
everything.
Euro Open.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that was my interpretation of it. 'Cause that's when news broke. That's when China released their like spending numbers and how much they're spending year over year more. So it signified like they're willing to like print money.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
Well, coming in today, I think we were long biased anyways, Harvey, because of the targets that we hit yesterday on the shorts. Or at least I was long biased.
It was not even about the bias. It was just about that action, really. How it just
But
like.
I think it's like
I
if
thought it
you're,
revolved around the Euro Open, so maybe I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I mean, I think the way I interpret, like the way we've been watching capital flow is like, if it's going to go up, it's going to go up. You know, like if they're done selling, they're done. And then they're just going to take the price up. Because if you look at it, like when pre-market action is pretty strong. So regardless of what happened in the overnight, it's always the US market that really leads. So when you look at like 6 a.m. or like 5:40 a.m., like all of that is still like absorbing and buying from then on. And then you see the push this morning. So it's like if they want to take the market up, they're going to take it up regardless of like what happens overseas. Unless it's like something major like war or something they can't control. Because like you see stuff like this all the time and it doesn't make any sense. But I think like once I sort of understand the cycles and the shifts in the flow, and like once we've made our major move and have hit the targets across the board, like Zero says, like everything has hit, like NQ, ES, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, okay, we're pretty much done. Now we're just going to have to wait for them to flip it. And there might be some noise in between, which is like the Japan, the China, or whatever you want to call it. Wait for that noise to flush out, because that's just going to confuse everybody, right? And then you see the move that happened today.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know, like that might not be a very good explanation, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's analyzing data in a way that's like not always logical. But I think you have to kind of step back and look at the bigger waves in the market.
Well, yeah, to be honest with you, yesterday at the close, just didn't think we got close enough to the 38.17 level. I was kind of like, why didn't they get to the 38.17 level? And then
But
they
it
actually pulled it right
doesn't-
down to the 8.02 level.
All right. But the thing is, it doesn't have to get to the level exact. But if everything has shifted, and if like NQ hit a level, like ES had a level, you know, the H contract had a level, like there were so many levels that hit where it's like, okay, the move is pretty much exhausted. And now you're just being greedy if you wanted to get exactly to your next level, so to speak, right? It's like you're never going to get it exact. Sometimes you will and sometimes you won't. But if like enough of a shift has happened, it's in your best interest to kind of close out the trade and be done. And wait. And you might miss, you know, another chunk of the move, but I think that's like the nature of the game we play. And I have seen like a lot of times the levels hit in the overnight. Like if you don't get to them in RTH, and I actually have a question about that to Zero. Like if we don't get to it in RTH, we sometimes get to it in Globex. But I think like, is there a significance in terms of if we hit it in Globex, maybe it's not really hitting it. It's kind of like a
That's
touch and
important.
go. Like, do you know,
Um,
like if you hit it in RTH, it's like it's meaningful, it's powerful because it's RTH versus Globex.
so there are certain levels, the major levels, if you hit it during Globex, it's fair. And then if it's a daily level, meaning like today we had some daily levels, it's not posted. These are just like gap rules and stuff like that. Those don't count. So it depends on, you know, what
What
your
level?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So major levels count regardless of time.
Yep.
RTH, ETH. Okay.
Correct.
Interesting.
And then the rest would not count. Yeah.
Right, because the rest of it is more of a daily look anyways.
Yep.
Okay.
1 second, and I'll run through those things that we talked about. Okay, not that bad. But I thought it was like horrible. All right. Don't save. All right, cool. Wow, I'm surprised about this move, actually. I thought that we're gonna have one more shove down to like the 30 somethings. All right. What was I gonna? Oh yeah, capital flow. So before the day happened, ES actually didn't put in a reversal yet. NQ didn't put in a reversal. You know, the Russell didn't put a reversal, but they all tagged that. They all tagged that target we were, you know, I posted in the levels chatter.
Yeah.
So I was extremely bullish, and what actually made me really bullish was the fact that yesterday during the RTH we did not close that gap. The low of yesterday was at
Yes.
27.25.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the bottom of the gap is at 25.75. So it wasn't, I was like actually extremely bullish after we tagged the targets and came up. I was like, okay, Jesus Christ, this is like super bullish. Now, during London session, Asia session, Asia session, we came down, took a bunch of liquidity, but most importantly, they did tag that number, and then London took this up, which actually made me even more bullish. I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna look good. If you look at, say, right here, the the risk spreads. This is on the daily bar. You're looking at my screen, right?
Right, yeah, I'm just on it right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So if you look at yesterday, this was a really big stall on the risk spreads.
Right.
So as we stalled, I was like, okay, there's a high chance that we can actually make a good bounce here. That's for ES, which has not turned yet. NQ, NQ right here, actually took out yesterday's high, but yet still not yet 100% bullish. NQ was actually the weaker one. But if
Right.
you look at, say, the Dow, which already was put in that reversal, you can see that it
Oh,
stalled
huge.
in that
Yeah.
reversal, and then we're already bullish in the Dow. And for the Russell as well, we actually just made an outside reversal lower, took it out, came down, and they were also very close to putting in that reversal. So with that being all lined up, plus the
Right.
bonds going down,
Yeah.
we were extremely bullish. So the pre-market play was to wait until it closes the gap at 25.75, 27.25 to 25.75. Wait for a reversal signal or price action, and then take it to the upside.
Yeah.
And the call was to look at the price action to take it off at 54.75, which I took most of it off there anyways. So that was, very simple 30 points right there.
Perfect.
Yep. And then, and then here's the thing that I think I was trying to show you. If you look at a lot of the currencies, so if you look at, say, the currency board, I'll bring it up. This is the currency board right here. You see that, it's kind of a mixed bag, right?
Right.
Aussie, the pound, they're all down, but the Canadian dollar's up, euro's up, yen is obviously up, Swiss is up. But if you actually look at it from a capital flow perspective, they are all down in relations to the gold. So this is Swiss against gold.
Oh, yeah.
They're all being sold off to gold, right?
Right.
This is going to come down quite a bit. Look at the pound. Look at how much that's already sold off, and this is just happened today. So a lot of it's being sold off against the gold. The Canadian
Interesting.
dollar is also being sold off against the gold. Now this has a chance of actually coming back up.
Right.
I think it might because of crude oil. We're expecting crude oil to make a big move. Again, the euro being sold against the gold. Aussie, look at that big bar.
Huge, huge. Yeah.
Yep. The yen's the only one that isn't, but it rallied to nowhere. So it's not a yen because of catalyst news. It's not that big of a
Right.
deal.
We don't need to look at it.
Yep.
It's kind of noise. Yeah.
Yep. So that was basically it.
Interesting. Huh?
Yeah, that's like the whole capital flow of looking at things. Um, you know, I'm
Yeah.
not Ryu, not right now. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I took basically the same long, but I just took it based on order flow because
Yeah.
of what happened yesterday, right? Like we had talked about it yesterday, like you and
Yep.
I. So I was like, okay. Then I just had to kind of wait and use the stuff that I typically use.
Yep. Yep. That's
But
perfect.
and I was watching the spreads also.
Yeah. I mean, it's so telling, right? At
Oh
that point.
yeah. I mean, now that you've like have shown it to me a few times, like I can see it. Like it's hard to get the first time because I'm like, I don't really get it. But now I'm like, okay, I see it.
Yep. Ryu, I think the long is there as well. It's been holding the FU zone too well. If you look at, this is a measured move, for whatever, and it's went right to it. It's holding it well. I just don't want to hit it yet, just based on, how things are actually panning out. So I'm just waiting a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, that was basically it, retro.
Yeah. Okay,
A
cool.
lot of it, I think the only part was like the gold part.
Yeah,
We
the gold
were-
part. Yeah.
That was the. Oh, that was a good long. Anyhow, I better stop clicking. I might get myself in trouble.
Do you have to remove your mouse?
Huh?
Remember you said you physically
To throw
take
my
your
mouse
mouse
away?
away? Yeah.
I sometimes do that. Like if I really feel extra itchy. Like I'm fasting today, so I'm like extra agitated.
Yeah.
So, anyone have questions? If not, I'm gonna close the stream, and I'm still gonna be here to talk. But if you guys want to, like, yeah, there's nothing else I can share or show. I think this could float up, Ryu. I just, I'm not necessarily eager about it. There's way too much buying for nothing to happen. If you look at like the cumulative delta, there's a lot of buying and not a lot of movement. Yeah, it's just not enough to justify anything.
Yeah.
All right,
I
guys.
think it's
I'll
gonna
close up stream if you guys are good. We can still chit chat. I mean, I just don't want to. You're welcome, Mike. Have you tried? I have Ryu, and they look like shit. Because what happens is that you need like an ES chart on top, and then the study, which would be the differential something something. I forgot what it's called. Bars different something. I've done it like it was like a year ago. Bar numbering, I think, or no bar difference. I don't forget which one it was, but it just looked like shit. And the issue was also I can't flip through things like I do with TradingView, where I have like a complete list and just see everything so easily. And most importantly, I couldn't put it onto a quote board. So that was also annoying me.
Yeah, I have to say TradingView is easier for the stuff that you look at because I can't do it on Sierra. It's just too cumbersome.
Yeah, I remember my quote board was like an insanely long amount, and I would have to constantly change it. There's pros and cons to each platform, but for me, just seeing the capital flow is just so much easier on TradingView, and it's only 300 something bucks a month or a year or something. So there are downsides to it though. Like if I just want to look at the pit session for ES on a daily standpoint, I can't, and that's stupid. Or stupid in
Yeah,
a sense where
there's no footprints.
Yeah,
There's no
there's no order
TPO.
flow. Yeah,
There's no
and
TPO.
TPOs.
And there's
yeah.
fucking the what do you call it? The DOM is fucking garbage.
Right.
I don't even look at the DOM. I don't know why you look
Oh,
at
but
it.
I'm just saying, it's absolutely
Yeah.
shit, right? Like, so there's, yeah, no, you're right. Like, there's lots of pros and cons, right?
Yeah, there's pros and cons to everything. By the way, this price action looks shady as shit. Just want to tell you guys.
No likey?
No, it
Because
just
it's in
looks
the middle of
shady.
the profile. It's like it's gonna chop. And I don't know
It
how
just
long.
looks too shady.
Let's right back into that the
So the
zone.
point of control, it's like
Actually, look
The
at
worst
yesterday's
area.
close. We're pretty much right on top of yesterday's close.
Hmm. Ryu, there's other things that I think TV does, TradingView does better than SC. Um, there are other platform. Every platform is like there's pros and cons, and I know SC, fanboys are like calling foul, but the truth is every platform has its pros and cons.
Fanboys.
I mean, there's a lot of
I mean,
Sierra fanboys in
I
there.
love Sierra
Oh,
charts.
yeah.
I love Sierra
Yeah.
Sierra runs deep in this crowd.
charts.
Yep. But like
I
if
have tried so many times to like convince people, and they're like abhorrent to it. They're like, never, never gonna touch Sierra. It's like it's very
I think
polarizing, I think.
I think by far the best charting platform at least would be CQG. If you have the money for it, CQG is hands down the
Really?
best. Yeah.
Like,
I've used it and it's insane. It's not. It's like Sierra, but just
Better?
made for pit traders.
Interesting.
So looking at
how
all
much is
these.
that?
Oh
I just
fuck,
thought it was a data feed. I didn't know it was an entire
but it's
platform.
it's it's all true. Here, I'll show you guys what it looks like. It looks like shit.
Oh, it's even
It's one
better
of
when it
those
looks
ones?
shitty.
Yes, I've seen this. It looks like dog shit, but it's awesome. Yeah.
No, this is fucking awesome.
Oh, this is
'Cause it's straight.
CQG?
Yeah,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
straight from the CME. Their data is good, Ryu. It's straight from the CME.
What the hell is
Awesome.
this? Yeah, you've shown us this before, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
This is one of
This is
your
my
guys that
my
uses this?
the Zoom. Yeah.
It's awesome.
One of the buddies use this? One of your guys?
Yep. All
Look
the
how
big
thick the
players use
lines
this.
are. They must
I
be so
know.
old.
They are fucking old.
Look at how thick the lines are.
I
Yeah,
know.
Ira's in here. Right. I think Ira's in here right now. I don't
Fucking
know
stupid.
if he is right now. Let me see. No, he was just talking when we were. Oh, he is in here. He's just not talking. But yeah. Man, CQG's the shit.
When you
It also
say
costs like
here,
1,000 something.
do you mean in this
What's
server or in your other server?
my other server?
Oh, I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, Ira's in here?
No. Actually, I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, you want to come in and chit chat with some people?"
Yes.
What do you say?
Yes. Can
He
he?
said no.
Oh, come on.
Aw.
I
Tell
don't
him
have
we
that kind of
listen to
pull with
his
him.
podcast.
Why? Tell him
If
to
we give him
come.
And if I
50
did, I
grand.
would close it off. I would so close it off.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to
I,
know.
yeah, I'm not making it public. Um, but the one that I actually want in here would be Langer.
Yeah, that guy too.
Oh, dude. But you don't want talking to him sucks. But to pick his brain is awesome. Because he talks quick and
Oh, God.
Angelo's another one. Bruce. Oh,
They have
actually,
to
you know what?
talk slow. They can't talk fast.
Who does anyone have a free Zoom? Because it's gonna take longer than
I
30
mean, I could
minutes.
get one.
Let me see. Let me see if Bruce is. Let me message Bruce. Oh, he called me. Shit. Let's call. Shit. He's old though. He's an old currency trader.
But we like that. I like the old people.
Let's see. I'll see if he answers. I don't know. Bruce is an old currency trader. I think I forget exactly which pit he was in. He
So
just
does
told
he
me.
still only trade currencies, or?
No, he trades everything.
Okay.
I actually had a call with him earlier today. For I don't know how long did we talk for, but I don't know, maybe like 40 minutes. But um, he trades short term, very quick, right, in and out quick.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what he was. I forget what he was telling me that I should look out for today. But he did tell me about that he was looking for a long in copper, which I was already long, but it just confirmed it.
Right.
Uh, yeah, you can do that. It's just doesn't look good, Peter. Piotr, whatever. Sorry. Oh shit, Chia's in the house.
What's up,
Oh,
Zero?
Gia, you're back from snowboarding?
I am back. Just got back.
Amazing. How was the trip?
Jesus.
I'm ready to trade.
You're ready to trade, yeah. How was it out there, the conditions?
It was good. We got some decent powder.
Fresh powder?
Not fresh, like it was mostly packed, but it was all right. I mean, it's still early season, so
Yeah.
not the best, but not the worst either.
I mean, sometimes Colorado gets like a lot of snow, like now, in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Was it empty?
Um, no, like so we went to Copper. Copper was like packed, especially like on the weekends. Like there were a lot of people.
Mhm.
But we went to Aspen for a day, and it was pretty empty. So
That's good.
got some
I
nice
like
runs.
empty mountains.
Yeah, same.
So if you guys look at like the bottom, not the low of the day, but the most recent bottom,
Mhm.
at 32.25, it shouldn't be a surprise to you guys. I'm not saying that, obviously we fought for that long, and I tried to get long there as well, and I basically took like ticks, and I think ultimately I lost like 2 ticks out of all the fighting I've done. But the point is, look at the time that it created that bottom. It's basically London's closed, right? A minute or two away from London's close. So essentially, they're just flushing out all weak hands, and then taking this up. You gonna see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's all I was trying to do. And so happens to be that you can see the distribution over at, let's just say, between like 3 to about almost 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, AM.
Mhm.
You'll see that distribution where they took the liquidity, or liquidity, but they try to flush out any kind of weak hands.
Right.
Not necessarily saying we should get long, just saying.
That's a good watch out or observation to keep in mind.
Harvey, when you send me private messages, can you give me some context? I can't keep up with like the random one-liners you give me.
Yeah, man. He's like, you better take that YouTube video down. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he doesn't say shit. He's like, damn, that shook me. I'm like, what shook you?
He expects you to know.
Yeah, he's that 50, 60, 80-year-old guy. Grumpy.
When he explains stuff, he should just like message you bars.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna close stream. I'll still be here. I'm just saying.
Has there ever been a time where you saw capital flow, but it didn't play out within like 1 or 5 days? Because you say it generally takes like 2 or 3 days, right?
Yeah. I would say I'm using capital flow for two things, which is bigger time frame bias. So let's just I'll just draw just a little bit. Did Bruce mess? No, he didn't. Oh, Ezra. Oh no, he's too busy. Ezra is one who works at a hedge fund, but he'll never jump on to talk to you. Well, although he is messaging me. So let's just say capital flow is positive. Okay. Who was asking me, by the way? Was that Red Pie?
Red pie. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's just say capital flow is positive. But we don't know where we're going to get long. But at least we know that we're going to get long. Actually, you know what? We can just use real time example. All right. So let's check this out. This is just one component to it, not necessarily a. It's not necessarily all you look at for capital flow. Okay, so just don't misunderstand that because a lot of people are like, oh, I just have to look at bonds over ES. That's the capital flow. No, bro, it doesn't work that way. So okay. Oh, sorry. All right, cool. Let me just make sure. All right. ES on this one. All right. So this is a daily, right? So you can clearly see right here is a stall, right? And if I throw this up too, you'll see it. Where is it? Multi-time frame. No. Is it this? Yes. All right. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So we're sitting on the 200-day moving average, which again, we don't trade off of, but we are definitely cognizant of it. So once we get to, once we see this slowing down pattern right here, we're going to start looking at a possible long. Now, again, if you go through the entire list, so if you go look at, like I said, the Dow actually made that reversal already. So right here, the Dow already start making a reversal, right? But let's just focus on the ES for now since everyone trades ES. So this is the day right here. So that's Monday, which is yesterday. And then this bar right here is today. Now, just because you see a stall and you're looking for a move upwards, that's just one part, right? Second part is now we have a bias of a potential long. Now let's just assume that error. Does it work? Oh, it doesn't work on that current symbol. All right. So let's just say this bar is not there, okay? Today's big green bar, all right? We're looking for a possible long or a possible continuation of stall. Now we have a level red pie. You should know this already yesterday that the downward target. Once we hit that, we're like, okay, the downward move is done. How do we get long? We see this stall, we have capital flow in mind that this is going to go long. Now let's go to say yes. And we're looking at these 2 days only. So let's go bar replay and let's replay yesterday as well, right? But let's jump down to a 1 hour time frame. So you know that it's you're leaning long, but you still need to find out a place to get long. And that's where you rely on levels to get long, whether it's, like we did today with this gap or a major level to get long. So then all you have to do is be like, okay, well, this is still a very good possible short right here. And actually that is right here is actually where we hit our target, right? I'll draw it out off the top of my head. I think it was at 29.25. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who's in it. All right. So that's that line right there, that target line. That's the target we had. So now after we hit the target, we're looking for a price action reversal, whether it's on a 1 hour or even say even a 5 minutes. So let's just see what happens in 5 minutes. Looking for a long. Where am I doing? All right here. So we're looking for a long. Price action is not giving us any kind of longs. Right here, it's like, okay, well, there goes price action. You can possibly take it right there if you wanted to. But essentially, order flow is just teaching you or training you to see where money is being poured into. So if the capital flow is actually saying long, it's just giving you a long-term bias, but then you still need to zoom in on a daily to get that bias, because not necessarily are you going to get it right away. So yesterday, which this is yesterday right here, we didn't get that long signal. We didn't get the date type was not a long bias date type right here. I think. Nope, right here. This date type was not a long date type, so we're not taking it. We're not going to take every long signal yet. Does that make sense? You still need to wait for a long day type to
Like
get
a
long.
confirmation, right? Like the 3800 bounce and then like bouncing again. That would be it, right? The higher low.
Yeah, but today we mainly played it off of the 25 level. But yes, so you still got to look at the day type to see where where we're going to enter. But and then if you zoom back out, so say okay. But essentially your question is, do I just take it? No, I look at the capital flow for the longer term bias, and then I look at a more granular level to get the day type right, and then look even more granular to trade to the long side or to that side, right? Another good thing about capital flows, say, for instance, if many things are starting to turn and we are up, say, either this level or even up to here, like in the subsequent days, we start moving all the way up to here. And NQ, Russell, Dow, bonds, dollar index, gold are all showing me that they're turning as well. Then but capital flow is telling me that this is now no longer a hold. So you can actually, based on capital flow, you can actually hold things for who knows, depending on it, usually at the very least 2 weeks, right? You can hold something for 2 weeks. So if not, I don't know, at least a week. So this is one of the capital flows that we talked about, Retro and I think Chia, were you there? Harvey, I think you were there. Oh no, Chia wasn't there. But this is a breakdown, and then this is a back and fill for a downside movement here. That was the capital flow. You were leaning short the entire time. You shouldn't be buying anything. I don't care if it breaks some kind of daily candle. It doesn't matter. You're not buying. Once it gets to here, you see a stall. Now you have the bias for the higher time frame, and then you're going to keep on taking it. So, for instance, let's just say you were um, looking at this, you see the break right here, capital flow is going downwards, and along with other stuff such as dollar index, bonds, and other indices, you see the break here. You're not taking any kind of longs. You're gonna wait, whether it's a back and fill, which is this, or a pullback, could have been here. You're taking shorts. So let's just say you did take a short here last Tuesday. You took it all the way down, all the way up to say last Friday. Who knows, this could easily break it lower, but by Monday you should, based on capital flow, should be exiting all your shorts, which actually is what I did. I started exiting all my shorts, and then from there you should be flipping your buys to the upside. Now if you didn't have capital flow, you wouldn't know to be holding it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to the downside, and possibly even adding to your downside um, position, because I guarantee you, from Tuesday there's multiple incidents or cases where you could have added to your downside, move. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, we can actually replay that. Let's start with Tuesday. And this is actually something I do. So this is Tuesday. No, that's Thursday. That's Wednesday. Right. Next one's Tuesday. All right. Here's Tuesday. All right. Here's Tuesday right here. Let's just say you didn't catch this massive upwick, right? And again, this is something that we've talked about as well. You didn't catch this massive upwick, but here's one thing that I love to use is that when the US session takes out Asia high and London high, it doesn't have to be both, it could be one or the other. You're looking for a reversal in the price action because again, by this point right here, this is already Wednesday. You're looking for reversal price action, which it gives you. You can get in, or you can look at again, I always say it, moving averages or whatever. There are multiple levels up here that you could have got into. From that point on, you're holding it. You can for sure cover it at either like 4,000s, or you can cover at a major level or whatever. Once it comes back, you just let's just say you're holding a core position of half or even a quarter. You're just going to keep on holding until price action says otherwise. Then you're just going to continue to look for cases where you can get, continually get short. Now, I don't see anything here. This is just a straight shot down. And then I still don't see anything. Yep, I still don't see anything. This is the only one that I got into a short on right here. I added to the short, sorry. Once this price action happened, I waited for a retrace. I got in, and then it just came down. And I believe I added to it again. Yep, I added to it right here. And then I was waiting for that 38.29 level, which was here, right here. And this was what, yesterday. That's it. We hit our 39.25 or 50 level, which so happens to be a great fucking bounce. And that was daily, -3 level. What a nice bounce. Even if you after it hits that target, you're exiting at least, 80% of your position. With those two ads or one ad, you should have easily two contracts from all the way up here. I mean, that's a lot of fucking points just based on capital flow. Where is it? Right here. So let's just say we got in, oops, wrong day. Let's just say we got in right here and it was 39.29 and we covered at 38.29, or even here at 38.91 and we covered at 38.29. I mean, dude, that's 60 points in a day and a half. And that's the big part about capital flow, is that it's giving you a market direction that you can keep on holding things. One thing I never believed when I was, I wouldn't say starting off trading, but when I was not, I didn't know anything about capital flow, was someone said something to me, and it was interesting because he said the only way to make a large amount of money in the market is to always be in the market. And that didn't really make a lot of sense to me because it's like, why would I not just take, 10 points here, 20 points there, 10 points back and forth, just all day, every day. But the point is, with capital flow, if you can actually pinpoint it or at least see it, imagine if you're holding one contract from, just one, right? From, wait, no, let me get out of this real quick. How do I get out of this? Okay. Let's just say based on capital flow, and we'll just do this. If you were holding one contract from this, let's go to, look at this capital flow. Let's just say one contract from, this is a huge breakdown right here, April 20th all the way to July 14th. So let's just do that real quick. Just one contract down. What did I say? April 20th, July 14th, March, April 20th is right here, okay? So let's just say you got a really shitty price. You took the breakdown of this 36 or 43.64 to what, July? Did I say July 20th? I don't remember. Let's just say right here. I don't know. July something, right? This is July 20th right here. But you would have gone, you know, close to like, I think it was what, 43. You would have gone 400 or 500 points off of that. That seems pretty fucking good, you know, and that's just based on capital flow. So that's why, for me, and that has nothing to do with adding. That's just one contract. And that's why I prefer capital flow, just so I can see the movements of things and have a big bias. Maybe I'm dumb and I'm really shit at bias, daily bias, or overall market bias. So I rely on capital flow to see that, and then you can hold things a little bit longer.
So, like on FOMC day, there was a big move in bonds afterwards. Did you harvest like 300 points from that?
You mean, was this like 2 weeks ago or a week ago?
Basically the whole week of sell was set off by FOMC day.
I was actually short biased in bonds, and I think I told Harvey this, and I'm still short biased, as you can see right here. I flagged it red. So every week I'll come in and flag things before the week starts as to when I'm short biased. I was short biased in bonds since, I think it was this day, December 12th. Obviously, that wasn't the exact turning point, but I've been short biased. I have not been able to find a good entry on it, so I haven't done it. I haven't traded it, but I do trade bonds, and I was actively trying to. Yeah, the best way to lose money is to listen to Jim Cramer. That's the fastest way you can lose money.
But he is my spirit animal.
He's your spirit animal.
Yeah.
Inverse Jim Craner isn't as good either.
You tried that?
Huh?
You tried that?
Well, I watched it on Twitter, and at the time, it wasn't performing that much better either.
No, you should check up on it. It's doing so well. It's beating SPY. I think so, yeah.
Kramer is?
Yeah, like the inverse Kramer thingy. If you took his when he longed meta and you just took the short, that would have been like a huge bump already. And like subsequently, like a lot of his recommendations have been like he's like a liquidity vendor. Like I feel like firms are like, hey man, we gotta unload a lot of this, and he's like, okay, I'll call it out as a good buy, and then you can sell into them. I feel like that's what he does.
Pump and dumper. Well, maybe not a pump and dumper, but liquidity provider, like you said.
Ryu, I always get granular. So if you look at the screen, so for instance, ES, this is something that exactly today what I did was I'm looking at, this is a weekly, this is an hourly, and the right one's 2 minutes. I'm looking at the weekly just to kind of give me an idea of what the fuck's gonna happen. Just so I don't have to keep on zooming in and out. But that's just, and also do a lot of my major levels are plotted there. The hourly is, again, getting a little bit more granular, and then the 2 minutes, and then I'll actually jump in, and this is the 5 second, and this is still the 2 minutes right here. So I would actually look at price action on a 5 minute, 5 second, to get more granular. So my stops are about 10 ticks, but they're not always 10 ticks. It's just the preset of mine. So once I get in, it's just 10 ticks, and then I'll see, what happens from there. I'll adjust it from there, but it doesn't usually exceed 10 ticks. I think that everyone should get a little bit more granular, but you should always start from the bigger time frame. So I mean, I will always start. I don't need to. I don't do it every week. But I'll start on the annual. Like maybe once a month, I'll look at the annual just to kind of update me. Then I'll look at 6 months, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and then all the way down. Quarterly and semi-annual and annual, I probably look at once a month, and I mark things from there. I don't need to look at it all the time. The weekly is a good chart to kind of show like what to expect. I yeah, I always look at that. My headset just said battery low. So uh if no more questions, I will jump off for a bit to charge it. I'll be back though. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna jump off real quick. PM me and I'll be back. If you guys have questions, PM me and I'll be back later to answer.
Thanks,
Later,
Zero.
dudes.
Bye.
Bye.